Hey everyone, it's Mari. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. I'm going to be creating a scrapbooking layout using some white cardstock as my base, and I'm going to use a bunch of mixed media on this layout today. So I have already applied some gesso to my white cardstock, and I'm just taking some yellow gelato here. I'm applying it fairly liberally here, and as soon as I've scribbled that on, I'm going to just take a baby wipe. So using that baby wipe, I'm going to spread my gelato out so that it's nice and even. And I'm going to leave the long ends of the gelato just kind of like nice and like a rough edge, kind of like an uneven edge on the top and bottom. And now I'm going to just go into my stash and grab some paints. And the first paint I'm going to grab here is a white heavy body acrylic paint by Liquitex, and I'm going to just take a dry paintbrush, and this is just think about a 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch flat brush. This is a really cheap brush, and I'm just applying this in a very messy fashion over top of the yellow. So the idea is to just try to tone that yellow down a little bit and create a little more of an interesting background. And so this is not a precise technique in any way. It is just really fun, and it's a neat way to create an interesting background for your layout. So if you don't have a ton of pattern paper, or you want to look for an alternative to using pattern paper as your background, you can always get into your mixed media and create something really fun. And this is definitely a process that's a favorite of mine. I also really love to art journal or use any of my mixed media products in scrapbooking. So it's a lot of fun for me to get messy with my paints when I'm scrapbooking as well. So this is some golden fluid acrylic paint in teal, I believe is the name of the color. And I love the viscosity of this paint. It's just really nice to work with. And it definitely is fluid, as the name would suggest. I'm going to take some Shimmers products, and these are Shimmers Vibes, and I'm just going to sprinkle these on here. I have some pink, and I've got some yellow and some blue that I'm going to be using, and those are just colors that complement my teal and my yellow that are already on my layout. So I've decided that I'm just going to take a paintbrush and use that to help me apply some larger drops of the mist on here. This does take a little bit of time to dry, so just to help with that, I'm just going to soak a little bit of it up with some paper towel, and then I will use my heat tool just to speed up the process here a little bit. I have sped this up 4 times just to alleviate the pain of watching me dry my project forever. So I think you can still get a good sense of what I'm doing here, and without having to watch for 45 minutes. I think this layout took about 45 minutes to create or so, something like that. So, and then I've sped it up so that it's only about 12 minutes in length to watch. And just going to continue that so that I've got those 3 colors on there in the splatters. And that just makes the background look super interesting. It spreads those colors out all over the layout. And here I've got that blue. I think this one is called, maybe this is the Jenny Bee Blue. I can't remember the names of the vibes. I'm not really sure. So just dabbing that on there, getting rid of some of the excess. I mean, clearly the Heidi Shine is going to do the same job here. So whatever you have in your stash for a mist would work for this process. I actually recently bought a bunch of the Oasis collection. I wasn't going to buy any of it at first after CHA. I thought, I've got a couple of other ones that I really want more. But then as I saw it, I thought, I think I really need to have a little bit of that. So I bought a few little pieces of it. So this is a title piece that I created from a cut file from Just Next Studio for another layout, and I didn't use it. So you won't see any of the process of me creating that on this video, but all I did was I just took some pattern paper and backed that always cut file. And now you can see I've got two black and white photos here. So I wanted to kind of get out of the winter blues by scrapbooking some summery stuff. And I did just get this Oasis collection, or a few pieces of it anyways, from Paper Issues. So I wanted to use some of that today. I don't know, I just was in the mood to use some summery kind of stuff. So this is really a fun collection. I love it. And so I got the die cuts, and I got a sticker sheet. I got a few pieces of the paper, and I got the chipboard sheet as well. So I didn't get very many papers from the collection. I think I only maybe got 3 or 4. And I wish I would have gotten the 6x6 pad, but I didn't. So anyways, I just used some of the pattern papers for layering on my photographs here. So I just took this neutral wood grain as my first layer behind my photos, and I just cut that in a square just to go directly behind, so I didn't offset anything there. And you can see that I did leave a fairly wide border on my photos. And I'm going to that's almost going to provide a little bit of a matte in itself. So I'm not going to use any white in my matte for this because I left that much of a border on my photos. So I'm going to use this really cool stamp paper from Oasis, and I just love it. I think it's really cool. And they actually included a couple of the same sort of icons on the chipboard sheet, which are really cool as well. And I think I used the word cool too much there, sorry. Anyways, so I'm going to use that as another layer for my photo mats here. So just going to put that down, and then just do a rough tear on the bottom edge of that paper so that it just makes it look a little more interesting. And so I'm just kind of getting an idea about how I want to design the rest of the layout. I knew that I wanted to use these palm leaves that are die cuts from the ephemera pack, and I wanted to just go through that die cut pack and take a look and see what else is in there that I might be able to use. So I found this gold foil flamingo. I thought that was super cute, and I'm going to use that on this one. Just finding a few other bits and pieces that may or may not end up being used in the end, but are possibilities. And there's a lot of really great pieces in this die cut pack. So I think Create Paper is one of the companies that I think I love their die cut packs the most. They're just super interesting, and I really love them. So although it's really hard to pick, isn't it? It's hard to pick favorites in scrapbooking when you're talking about the products, because yeah, I got a few favorites. Anyways, I'm just going to take these different pieces and try to find some way of layering them that I like. Now, as I'm working through this, I'm thinking, you know what, I really just have to tone down that background, because I feel like my photographs are getting a little bit lost in all of the busyness of the layout. So I just take my heavy body gesso, and I'm just going to take my, you know what that roly thing's called, and take it and go over top of it. The brayer. I took my brayer and I went over the gesso with the brayer just to tone down that background a little bit. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. Now I've also mounted the layout at this point onto a piece of black and white pattern paper from Maggie Holmes. And I really like how that looks. I think it frames the layout in nicely, and I'm going to keep that. Now, once again, I'm just going to kind of put my layers on there again and just get a sense of where I want things before I start to stick my photographs down. And I love those foil palm leaves as well. I think they're super cute. And I end up taking a couple of brads from my stash, and instead of putting some thread in those tag holes there, I decided to just put some brads in there just for something different. And I think I'm almost to the point where I'm happy with how everything looks, and I'll start to stick things down. Although I think I change up a little bit those pieces with the brads there. I think I end up using different tags. So these are the title pieces, or the word pieces, phrases, I guess I should say, that come with or are part of the Oasis collection. They're puffy gold phrases, I guess you would call them, and they're really super cute, and I end up using them with the word always to create a bit of a title here. So I needed a comma, and I feel like I'm still going to have to find one of those in my stash because this is going to bug me otherwise, but I want it to say this place, comma, always fun. And so I will have to search up a comma in my gold alphas in my stash. Took just some of the little phrase stickers from the sticker sheet from the collection and a couple of other little stickers and stick them down here and there just to add a little extra detail for embellishments. And I do end up sewing a little chunk of gold thread on the bottom of the layout. You'll see that when I show you some of the details here in a minute. And I think I add a couple of little chipboard pieces, and that's going to be about it for the layout. So I like how this turned out. I think it's a good example of how you can use your mixed media in your stash to create a really fun background on your layout. And you don't always have to use pattern paper for your background to be interesting. There's lots of fun ways to use your mixed media, and I have a lot of art supplies in my stash, so it's always good to use some of those as well. Okay, that's it, guys, and thanks so much for stopping by, and I will see you another time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.